Hi everybody, this is the video I'm doing to show you how I work with fiberglass. Hey, thanks for joining us on YouTube. What are you doing across the line, and my stick is shorter than. Hey, I wanted to make mention, this is a video that I put together to show you, I hope it doesn't bore you, it's how I work with fiberglass resin, and basically the only thing that's left out on this video, because I don't use it, I mean I will if it's a big project, like if you see my King Entatomb, I will use it on that. Basically I use teriyaki sticks, and I use metal wires and things like that to put my items together. The one subject that I was talking about that I left out is there is what they call a fiberglass cloth, and the fiberglass cloth, I've worked with it many times before. The only thing that is really bad about it is the fact that when you cut with it, the scissors have to be really sharp. And even in some cases when you're trying to get a pinpoint perfect accurate cut, it doesn't happen. The fibers are so thin and they fray apart so easily. I've actually even taken an X-Acto knife and put a pattern down and then cut the fabric out, and because it pulls this way and that way, it just becomes more of a mess. And especially if you're trying to get an item, say like if you're going to try to do the fingers and go like this, it will never work because of the way that the fabric is. It's kind of interlocked and not quoted, but intertwined with each other like this. And what happens is, so you go through the trouble of cutting the fingers, and then what happens is the part of it just breaks off. The other reason I don't use the fiberglass is it's very itchy. It gets in your eyes. The particles just fly everywhere. You can just see the little light thing going places. And I have animals. I've had cats before in the past, and dogs and stuff, and it's just not good for them to breathe. I just don't need it. I don't need to feel itchy and take a shower each and every time that I use it. So that's why I've come up with another method of putting everything together without using the fiberglass cloth. I know a lot of people say, oh, you got to use it, and I have, but it's just not worth the mess. And using the industrial stuff that they have, it's kind of like strands that you take and you kind of throw at the item, and then kind of, work with it and dip it and get it in there. It's not really worth it to me. So that's why I use the paper, which kind of works like the cloth, and gives me the result that I'm looking for. And I use the epoxy on the end of it anyway. So I think I've talked long enough. This video is long enough as it is. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's take a look at what I do when I use fiberglass, or whatever it is I call it. I don't think I gave it a name yet. I mean, you're seeing it have a name, but I didn't give it a name at this point in the video. Let's take a look. So you're going to probably see this in two videos. I'm doing like 2 in 1 right now. Okay, so here's my next project that I'm working on. I want to fiberglass at least the bottom right now. Eventually I'm going to fiberglass the whole part here. So what I'm going to do is I put masking tape, blue masking tape, painter's tape, around the bottom of it. First going, one piece going across, and then one I wrapped around on both of these, because I want to get at least a little bit, 1/8 of an inch of fiberglass to put a cap on it, so that the fiberglass doesn't pour out, so that I can go ahead and fill it up as needed, if I want to do, like sections. Let me mix the fiberglass. I have my teriyaki stick that I use. You can see it has fiberglass from previously on it. How the fiberglass kind of dipped because I set it on the edge like this, and it kind of started to drip and it froze that way. and this is actually a lid. If you can't find anything suitable, this is actually a lid I've used. I'll use them for a while and then throw them out. And I'm terrible. I just leave them kind of outside, so my fiberglass gets a little bit dirty. This is actually a peanut butter jar lid that I have here. Here's my fiberglass resin, and I actually am not endorsing this product, but it just happens to be one that I have. It's a fiberglass resin. It's 100% waterproof and strong and durable. There are many different types of brands of fiberglass out there. It just happens to be what I bought at the department store that I went to. So what you basically are getting is you'll get this, and inside the fiberglass resin you will also get a hardener tube. Actually, it will normally be, only the size about this long. I actually buy the extra large one because I try to speed up the process of my drying of my fiberglass. Like if it says to put 1 drop, I'll only put 2 drops to speed it up a little bit. And today it's actually cold because it is October right now. So I will put extra in what I'm going to be doing, doubling it. But I always do. But you don't want to put too much in because then it weakens the fiberglass. It's not as strong. So it really does have a chemistry to it. It does speed it up, but like I said, you want your fiberglass to be strong, so you don't want to go too much over. So pretty much follow what the directions say on it. The thing you'll notice about the resin is this resin has a color to it. There are many different types of resin that are for artists and stuff to use. Like there's ones that are clear, and there's one that they put a dye in it to show you that it is a resin. They do the dye one because this is one for like repairing like cars and boats and things like that. So most people want to see where the fiberglass is at, where you can use the fiberglass resin and you want to put a flower in it or like an insect or whatever. You can buy those, pay a little bit more. They charge you at a lot of hobby stores because it doesn't have a dye in it. Very cold, very cold. So resin does pour a little bit faster than that, but see how it pours like that? Yeah, it's almost like a syrup. And normally it calls for maybe 2 drips for about that, but because it's so cold, I'm actually going to put more into it. So like 4 drips. I've got a 5th one in there, which is good. Sure, you put the cap back on. This is like watery like. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stir it. You want to make sure you stir it really well when it's thick like this, because you want to make sure that the hardener gets into every bit of the fiberglass resin. And it will take a while for it to dry. I actually filmed this earlier this morning, a couple hours ago, and I was talking about it probably take an hour to dry because of how thick this is and how cold it is out here. It is starting to warm up. At the time it was about 65, 67 degrees. Now it's probably, I can feel the temperature starting to hit, the sun starting to come up. So it's probably up towards close to the 70s now. But in any case, the resin that I put in the hand at the first time have still not fully cured. When it's drying, it does heat up to 100+ degrees. I forget what the temperature is. I don't know if it's on the can. I'll have to look at that. In any case, that's how you know it's drying. Besides, leave a little bit in the container. Don't scrape it all out, so that way you can kind of check on that rather than the item that you're doing. If it's a superficial thing that you don't want to, mess up, you don't want to move the item that you're working with. Does that make any sense? In other words, if you want to know if the fiberglass is dry, it's better to check what's inside here than on the item that you just did. Alright, I think I got that pretty much And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little bit more in here. So as you can see how thick it is. It's not normally that thick. It's about half that thickness. And this would be the same thing I would do, like if I was making monster skull or Oliver, I'd pour it on, and then I would use the teriyaki stick to kind of spread it out evenly over the item that I want it. Up here. And then scrape off the rest of that. You don't want to waste it. Everybody asks me what the price is on everything. The epoxy itself runs me probably about $17, I think it is, for a little the 2 cans that I get, which is like, I think I forget, I have to look at that. This one runs me, this fiberglass resin runs me about $14 here in the United States. I live in California. For this, and then what I get is, let's see, it is 37 fluid ounces. So, go on the outside, check it out to go. Yeah, I've used my finger again. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see, it's down inside there. Actually take the fiberglass resin, and I will make sure that it is completely dry for about a day before I do any sanding to it, and that way it's safer, secured all the way. I can sand it, I can cut it, I can shape it. But yeah, I normally give it a 24-hour. As far as curing, I normally will give it about a 4-hour period, maybe 8 hours, depending on how hot it is out. And I'll put that into consideration before I add more fiberglass resin. This one I actually waited only 2 hours. Okay, and what you're doing is you're looking for 3 possible areas that could leak. You basically want to make sure that it doesn't come out of the bottom. You want to make sure it doesn't come out of the side of the wall. And you want to make sure it doesn't come out of the little holes where your metal rods are coming out of. You probably can't see the fiberglass down there. It's too dark looking down in the hole. But one other quick note that I wanted to make while this is drying is, you'll know when it's done, or when it's working to be done, because the area that has the epoxy, the area that has the fiberglass, it will start heating up like an oven. Probably get like 100+ degrees that you'll feel. So you might feel the metal get hot from the heat. I'm not sure if that's enough to generate to come out, but it gets hot when the fiberglass resin is curing. See that we have the whole entire head has been covered. Put fiberglass resin over them, and I'm letting them dry. We might give it one more coat of glass, and we're ready to start the epoxy. And then to come back, and I put little parts right there in the hair you saw. This is for his style of a hair, and a little part right there. And then I fiberglassed it one final time, and I'm ready to move on with the epoxy and start. Okay, so I hope that's clear to you. That's just how I use fiberglass resin. And so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That's how YouTube knows that people are actually watching my videos, is by the likes, not by the views. And also don't forget to subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, like I said, I'm doing a vlog a day in the month of October. We're at the halfway point now, officially being the 16th, 17th. So we're getting there now. But anyway, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching the video. I appreciate it immensely. So long, everybody. Bye bye.